It begins in a dark setting, with a man lying in bed and hearing a voice resembling demonic talking. He gets up to start playing his guitar loudly as he looks at Jesus on the cross. This makes his mother come in to unplug the guitar from the amplifier. The reason he plays it loudly, he says, is so that he won't hear the voice. His mom tells him he's going back to the mental hospital. After she leaves, the man keeps hearing the voice. Suddenly, he comes to strike her with his guitar, making her fall downstairs. The crucifix flips upside down once he does it, showing that evil got fed. The disturbed man continues to play, while we see another man enter the house to observe the lady lying. After that distressing introduction, the scene changes completely to a man painting in his garage. What he paints does not reflect his persona. Then we see him riding in a car with his family. His daughter, Zoe, is a heavy metal fan just like her father. However, his wife, Astrid, is not too fond of the music playing in the car. The man, Jesse, seems to be a professional painter. Despite the differences between him and his wife, the family gets along very well without any drawbacks. We soon see the place they were riding to as the house with the unfortunate happening. A man greets the family inside to give them a tour. Soon enough, he tells them 2 people met their demise in the house. But to make it sound softer, he says one of them was accidental. The second one was the lady's husband, who just could not live without her. Astrid talks to Jesse alone about this incident. Though it bothers her to some degree, he considers it romantic that the man could not live without his wife. Afterward, he tells her the house is calling their names. In the next scene, we see the disturbed man peeking into an inn. He walks inside, acting oddly, causing the clerk to notice his condition, whatever it is. The sinister voice keeps bothering him. We return to the couple as they talk about the heavy price of the house they just bought. Astrid talks about the downsides, yet Jesse comforts her that they made the right move buying it. Then we see them moving into it. Back at the inn, the disturbed man plays his guitar loudly. Even there, as one would expect, a policeman comes to him. He tells the man, who says his name is Ray, to keep quiet. Ray agrees to do it. Though as the policeman talks, Ray keeps hearing the voice. The next scene has Jesse dropping Zoe off at her new school. As is always the case, the newcomer expresses apprehension about the change in this specific environment. So to support his daughter, Jesse gives her a heavy metal hand sign, which she gives back. When he comes back to their new house, he starts hearing the same voice Ray hears. Upon entering the man's room, a certain poster catches his eye. Jesse removes it to see that a crucifix used to reside there. It seems to make him feel somewhat uneasy. Following that, he goes to work, painting with a mask on. Hours later, Astrid comes home to ask Zoe how her first day of school was. The girl says it was bad. After that, she comes to Jesse, speaking to him in a blur. He is very focused on his painting. To get his attention, she has to raise her voice. Once she makes him turn around, he appears disoriented. We see he was painting an upside-down crucifix. Shortly after, they get a ring at the door. Zoe opens it to see Ray, who just looks at her for some time. Soon enough, he spots a tattoo on her arm of a guitar and says he has one like that. After telling him she wants a guitar like that, her parents come to them. Ray says he wants to come home. He tells them that this is his parents' house, but they are gone now. Jesse expresses his condolences for that, yet he wants the man to leave. When he closes the door on him, Ray shows his disturbed nature again by continuously ringing the doorbell. This makes Jesse threaten him by saying he'll call the police. Once Ray leaves, Zoe tells her father he was mean to the man. He did not abide by the golden rule of society. Then we see a priest talking about the devil on television. He says the devil exists through people, they are his pawns. He will enter someone's soul if he sees weakness within the person. The person watching this program is Ray. Leaving her house for school, Zoe sees that Ray left his guitar for her near the house along with his amplifier. The man may be insane, but he shows her his kindness by giving such a gift. On top of that, it was the only thing that helped him fight the sinister voice. What will he use to block it out now? However, Jesse tells his daughter she can't keep this gift. Besides, he will get her a guitar for her birthday, though the guitar Zoe will get is not that one. This disappoints her. Subsequently, Jesse enters an art building to give in his new painting on a flash drive. We discover he was there before and was rejected. Yet this new painting is different. It flowed through him, he says. Once the lady who works there looks at what he delivered, she tells him she'll see what can be done. Later, Jesse stares at a blank canvas at home, thinking of what to draw. He decides to uncover his huge painting of butterflies. In doing so, he quickly gets an idea and gets to work obsessively. Meanwhile, we see 2 kids outside. One of them occupies a swing, while the other plays with their dog. After the dog vanishes into the bushes, the older kid goes after it. When that happens, Ray comes out to strike the boy on the swing with a rock. As he does it, we instantly see that boy's face on the body of a butterfly in Jesse's painting. The man seems frightened once he looks at what he painted. It's as if he were possessed when he applied his brush to the canvas. Then he leaves the house, becoming puzzled that it's almost night. It seems like a possession did take place. He quickly arrives to pick up Zoe from school. She sits on the ground, upset, telling him that it's only her second day there. Yet he explains his bizarre situation with how the time flew. To accept his apology, she wants to keep the gift that Ray left for her. Next, Zoe is happy in her room with the guitar. She pretends to be performing with it. Afterward, we see the man who gave it to her. He brings someone wrapped in a blanket into his room. Inside, Ray stands with a black covering around him. Another program about the devil plays on the TV as he gets ready to do something. This very devil is likely possessing the man. In the meantime, Astrid comes to see her husband's grotesque painting. Zoe is now there as well. She is surrounded by fire. Jesse tells his wife he did not mean to paint it. The painting troubles her, to the point where she doesn't even have to think before telling him to destroy it. But he can't do that because it's not finished. He also tells her that the kids in the painting are inside him, screaming to be let out. He doesn't know why. At night, Jesse struggles in his sleep, so he wakes up to go to his painting. He wants to destroy it. Yet, the voice won't let him. As that takes place, Ray digs a hole outside somewhere to take out some suitcases. Once he takes them out, he places one in to cover it with dirt. Then we observe the painting Jesse is working on becoming more horrific. At that moment, Ray somehow manages to get into bed with Zoe. She is sleeping, so he whispers that the voice wanted it to be her. However, Ray did not want to do it because she is special. When she wakes up, he covers her mouth, though she yells once he removes it, causing Astrid to enter. She yells for Ray to leave the house. The man rushes out, slamming Jesse down as the latter enters, but the man doesn't let him get away by grabbing his leg to bring him down too. Ray escapes after kicking the painter in the head. The next scene has the family talking to a policewoman about the incident. She advises them to change their locks. She will also protect them by being stationed outside all night. Once she is gone, Jesse stands with an axe, looking out the window. For some reason, he sees a black goat out there. He falls asleep while watching, and has an odd dream involving Ray. Astrid wakes him in the morning, causing Jesse to almost attack her out of fear. Their unfortunate situation has developed into something approaching a nightmare. All this family wanted was a nice house to live in. What they got instead is something Astrid possibly worried about from the beginning, when the house's dark history was revealed. Then Jesse drives Zoe to school because she wants to go. Even though she doesn't like it, she thinks it's safer there. Upon arriving, her dad assures her he will smash Ray if the maniac returns. Shortly after, he gets a call from Mara, the lady from the art building. She tells him that a man named Leonard approves of his painting. He will be coming to the house at 2 p.m. to look at his current project. When Jesse is at home, Leonard arrives. After looking at the painting, he tells Jesse his work is wonderfully disturbing. We see Leonard as a serious man who is very much invested in what he does. He came to his house for a reason, because he sees potential in the artist. However, Jesse tells him his new work nearly destroyed him. They sit drinking alcohol, yet Jesse says he has to pick up his daughter. Leonard argues against it, telling him he could be slightly late. But Jesse insists, remembering what he said to his daughter about being late. He cannot repeat that mistake, so we see him driving quickly to Zoe. Unfortunately, bad luck strikes, giving the man a flat tire at the worst time. He panics and calls someone, but he gets the ominous voice on the phone. Jesse is left with no other option than to run to Zoe's school. Once he gets there, the place is empty. He runs through the building in search of her. Amid his panic, he finds no one. At that point, we see Zoe wake up somewhere, with tape over her mouth. Ray stands above her, looking down. He tells her he has to do the thing he didn't want to do. When he leaves, we see she is covered in tape. She struggles to free herself, while Ray gets ready in his room. Zoe manages to start undoing the tape. Ray takes his time, perhaps because he doesn't want to do it to her. Due to that, he enters the restroom too late. Zoe freed herself and is now escaping through the window. So he grabs the girl by her legs to pull her back in. All he gets is one of her shoes. In the next scene, she sits in the police station, where her parents rush to see her. As they hug, Zoe tells her father that he wouldn't make her wait again. Her words devastate him. Later, he sits alone with a policeman who talks to Jesse about Ray. Jesse wants to know why the maniac does what he does. The officer reads from a file about what Ray said in the past. He said he has to feed the children to Satan because they are his candy. The policeman advises the family to put Zoe into witness protection. Back at their house, Jesse looks at his painting. He hears the demonic voice again, which leads him to destroy the painting. He realizes that associating with it is a horrible idea, no matter how much success it will bring him. Meanwhile, Astrid and Zoe look for Jesse until they hear screaming outside their house. Astrid goes to investigate what it is. She sees that Ray has trapped the policewoman in between two vehicles. Then he injures her by using a rock. He strikes the policeman on the ground after her. Collecting his gun, Ray starts coming to the house. Jesse comes to his family's aid. He grabs a baseball bat to sit with near the entrance. Once Ray enters, Jesse tries attacking him, but fails. The maniac shoots him a few times to bring the men down. He shoots the door nearby to take Zoe out of that room before leaving the house with her. A wounded Astrid crawls out to see her husband in his unconscious state. Following that, bad turns to worse when Ray re-enters the house with Zoe, along with a canister of gas. He points his gun at Astrid's head, but realizes he's out of ammo upon pulling the trigger. So he switches to his main goal of spilling gas on the floor, starting with the stairs. After lighting it on fire, he spills more on the upper floor. At that point, Astrid gets Jesse to wake up. In the meantime, Zoe stands on the bed with Ray as the fire surrounds them. He tells her to be quiet because Satan is there. We now come to realize this situation resembles the horrific nature of Jesse's painting. The man uses a ladder to climb to the second floor. He breaks the window and throws himself at Ray. He causes some damage, but the maniac brings him down. Afterward, he starts coming for the girl. He even walks through the fire, which causes him to burn. To bring him down, Jesse strikes Ray with his guitar many times. It's possible he took his life with it. Then Zoe jumps to her dad, past the flames. This time, he was there for her. He was there when she needed him most. So they climb down, yet Jesse is very injured. As the house is burning, he gets an image of his painting in a sinister way. He remembers what he said to his wife about the kids being in him, screaming to be let out. Somehow Jesse gains an understanding of what he must do, prompting him to go dig up the suitcases that were buried by Ray. Once he does, light shines his way, making him cry. He has found the missing children, and the house possessed by Satan will no longer stand.